All right. Okay. So apparently I am live and just got through watching the Game of Thrones finale and I got a lot of thoughts about it. If you guys have not seen it, you probably don't want to watch this because I'm going to be breaking this thing down. And there was a lot of shit that I saw and I was like, yeah, but it was okay. But again, I'm about to be getting into some spoilerific shit. So if you don't want to watch it, dip on out. Okay. Let's see here. Dennis Peru. Well, hello, Dennis Peru. Game of game. I got so much to. Oh my God, there was so much. Okay, so how can I start? I actually thought the way they came in was beautifully shot. I thought you see all the it looks like snow, but apparently it's ashes and everything. It's like, although it kind of looked like snow to me. Everybody was saying it's ash, but it looked like snow to me. I mean, it is still winter, but I was just like, oh man, it was but I thought it looked beautiful. It just the remains of the Red Keep. You see the Dothraki. You see the Unsullied just lined up. It actually looked like Star Wars or something. It looked like the Emperor was coming after they had just blew up some shit. That's what it looked like. And yeah, the leaks were all true. The leaks were dead on the money. The leaks were so. First of all, let me say that whoever leaked that, fuck you. You shouldn't have done that. Although I would have still been pissed when I saw the end of it. I would have been very, very pissed. Okay, so that was snow. Okay, because I was like, yeah, they were saying it was ashes and stuff. So I was thinking, I was like, man, it was snow. And then yeah, Drogon's up in there like, woo, I'm a puppy. I'm playing in the snow. And I'm like, okay, cool. And he just getting his snow on. And and Matthew Fowler, the season finale was freaking awesome for Barry, Game of Thrones stuff. And I was Game of Thrones, man, how do you shit the bed like that? I gotta be honest. How do you do that? They could have done it, could have been so they rushed. First of all, HBO literally backed the Brinks truck up for what's the guy, Weiss and Benioff, D&D. Everybody keeps calling them Dumb and Dumber, the producers. They came to them a couple of years ago. They was like, and they told HBO, they was like, look, we got a big hit here. We're getting bored with the show. It's time to end it. And HBO was like, no, you don't have to end it. And even George R.R. Martin was like, why are you guys ending the show? We can keep the show going. They could have, HBO wanted the show to go for like 10 seasons. They were like, nah, we got to get up out of here. And so then they started creating things that just didn't happen. Either they changed things that happened that were already established to happen in the book. And I love Barry, by the way. Man and Loser. I saw John Malin talking about, I started watching Barry last season. But they start changing stuff that did not happen in the books. And I started wondering, I said, when did it go wrong? When did they, because they started changing things. And Kevin's playing, drink a bottle of Captain Morgan, you'll sit in the bed while you pass out. I've not had that experience, but I'll take your word for it. But I started going back right when, I think it was right around season 5 is when they started kind of adding things that did not happen in the books. And I think the rape of Sansa, I think that was when they really, really just decided to just make it a big epic clusterfuck right there. When they said, okay, we're going to let Sansa get raped by Ramsay. And I know they were married, but that was a rape scene. I don't know what else you could say that was. That was it wasn't it I was very upset when that scene happened. I guess what was that, season 5? Yeah, that was the Littlefinger takes up there to and that's exactly my point, Kevin. Littlefinger had kept Sansa. uh oh wow, okay. So you didn't see that, Dennis? Yeah, they let in the book, they don't know where Sansa is. And they took a woman that was like a handmaiden to Sansa, and she had been gone from Winterfell for so long that the Northmen didn't know who Sansa was. So they let Ramsay marry a woman that they were just pretending was Sansa. And yeah, Ramsay tortured the fuck out of her. He did horrible, horrific shit to her. The stuff that happened to Sansa in the TV show happened to the fake handmaiden chick. Now, Littlefinger kept the real Sansa safe. He dyed her hair blonde. And yeah, they did a Padme. They did do that. Yeah, so he married a fake. I mean, he knew it wasn't the real Sansa Stark, but the Northmen did not know it was Sansa Stark. And she was a fake Arya. I thought she was the fake Sansa. Was it a fake Arya? Okay, if it was fake, I thought she was fake Sansa. If I'm gonna take your word for it, Booker T, but I thought it was fake Sansa. I thought that this woman that was faking was I guess she had been a handmaid and stuff. Yeah, let me see. Hold on. I'm almost 100% sure that Sansa is going to sort Littlefinger herself out in the Eyrie, and that Theon is going to end Reek in the book. Well, I know one thing is that Bran is able to talk to Reek or Theon. Jane Poole was Arya. Okay. So but either way, it was a fake Stark. And Sansa, Littlefinger had her in the Eyrie, and or the Vale or whatever. He was keeping her safe. And then I would have rated episode 10, the episode 10 out of 10 if Sean Bean woke up after a terrible nightmare where he was. I hear Sean Bean is in the documentary next week. Sean Bean and what's the woman, Michelle? I can't remember her last name. The woman that played Catelyn Stark, and what's it called? The Last Watch. I'm definitely going to watch that because I want to. I saw they had some scenes with the cast, and they were like sitting around the table doing a table reading, and then they interviewed a lot of the old veterans and stuff. But this season for me was doomed to fail. And one of the reasons I think is because you saw a lot of the actors they didn't want to throw shade, but they were the actor that plays Varys, he definitely was upset. He did an interview a couple months ago, and he had kind of talked about the last 2 seasons. He felt like he had been wasted. They didn't know what to do with him. Like, he kind of disappeared. Like, he was barely there season 6. And he felt like, he said the right things, though. He was grateful for the opportunity. The show, he wouldn't change anything. The show was a huge opportunity for him, all that good stuff. But he felt like season 7 and season 8, they really did not utilize him properly. And I think, Varys is such a great character that even if he, I suspected he was going to die regardless. He'll die in the book, I'm sure. But I don't think they used him right. And there was just so much. But I go back to the rape. I'm just gonna tell you, so Varys thought this season was bought. Yeah, and he said something. They just the woman that plays Sansa, she had a statement out a few days ago where she said she believes fans will be upset with, and she's right. I was like, that's the smartest thing that ever came out of your mouth, because you're right. I thought they could have done so much more. I'm curious. They're saying that George R. R. Martin is finally going to have a definitive release date for The Winds of Winter. I hope that is true. He has not confirmed that. I stay on his not a blog page or whatever where he writes things. Um, well, Dennis, I'm gonna tell you this. One thing I have seen, because people were laughing at the person that started that petition to have season 8 remade. They was like, oh, it only got 16,000 signatures on it, and now it has over 1 million signatures on it. Over 1 million people. Because I saw even Fabian Nicienza, the guy that quote unquote co-created Deadpool, and I've talked about that a million times. Fabian Nicienza did not co-create Deadpool. Deadpool was completely created by Rob Liefeld. The character was done, already sketched, fully designed, and named, and then he showed his sketchbook to Fabian and pointed to this character and said, "That's Deadpool." And but Fabian was coming on to New Mutants to take over as the writer or co-writer because Rob Liefeld was plotting. But Fabian Nicienza was making fun of a lot of the people that signed the Game of Thrones petition, because he was like, ha ha ha, and I was like, you jackass. And I was like, Fabian, come on, man. The biggest thing is there's a reason the fans have. I've seen so many negative things said about this. Yeah, okay. I'm gutted about the ending as well. I just, there's so much. Okay, because first of all, the way Cersei went out in the previous episode with Jamie, I just was like, okay, I don't know. I did like Clegane Bowl. I thought the Clegane Bowl from last week, and let me see here, Rainbow. There was a rumor a Dream of Spring is done. Yeah, but George R. R. Martin just came out and said that was not true. He was actually the guy that played Barristan Selmy said that the last 2 books were done, and that HBO or the producers just told George, they were like, hey, don't put the books out yet. It'll ruin everything, blah, blah, blah. But I don't think that is the case, because George, every time I see George, he looks like he's pregnant with triplets, and that he has been drinking a lot of wine. And he's been doing a lot and he's got so many TV shows coming, although his sci-fi show, Night Flyer or whatever, that got canceled. That got canceled real quick. I thought they spent a lot of money on that show. Let me see, Booker T. The publishing company could have sued the shit out of them. Yeah, okay, Rainbow. Can anyone explain that the Night Watch even exists? If I'm being honest, I don't think that. If you look at that last scene with John looked like he just turned back to Castle Black and he was just like, fuck it. And he just dipped out on their ass. He took his sword. If you notice, go back and watch those last, because I went back right before I went live because I wanted to look at those last few minutes again. And I saw it, they were trying to, show all 3 of the Starks. She had Needle on the table, and he had Longclaw on the table, and Arya's getting herself dressed. Yeah, and that's exactly, Matthew. He bounced. That's why he looked back at Castle Black and he was like, he kind of got this little weird smile on his face, and he was like, fuck it. And then the next scene, they was off in the woods somewhere. It looked like John ain't coming back. And no, Sam Dunham. They sure patched up the hole in the gigantic ice wall. They didn't. That is not what happened. If you recall, the the wall was destroyed at East Watch by the sea. That is where was it Tormund, Giants Bane, and all those guys were. They were at East Watch. That was Castle Black. So the rest of the wall is still up, but the hole in the wall is at East Watch by the sea. Let me see. Mike Jenkins, I fell off after the first season. Seems like a good choice. Everybody's disappointed. Yeah. Kevin Splatty saying old Valyria to the west of Westeros. Yeah. But that's where they call it the Dune or the Doom or whatever. You know, you definitely don't want to go there because everybody's got that weirdo disease with they never paid that off. Okay. So that's why I had to come talk to y'all. And I appreciate y'all rolling up in here because I was like, I gotta talk to y'all tonight and see if anybody's up because that shit just they had oh my God, they did so much wrong. And I was just like, okay, so Valyria's in the east, but I know she said she was going wherever the hell, and it was just too much. Because okay, here's a couple things I wanted to happen. I know, you know, and they had Gendry down there at King's Landing. I wanted Arya to get with Gendry, and I know that probably that maybe that makes me a sap or whatever, but I wanted Arya, especially after the Hound talked her out of her vengeance and everything, and seemed now she obviously wanted to kill Dany. She wanted to kill Dany, but I felt like, oh my God, it really ticked me off, and half Mangy, that's not her. I still wanted it. That's what I'm saying. That's what I wanted. I wanted her to go, okay, I'm going to Storm's End, and I'm gonna marry Gendry, but I'm still gonna be a tough lady and all this kind of stuff. Brienne and Podrick becoming Kingsguard. Okay. 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 I just that was first of all, Bran becoming the king. What was because that whole scene where they're all sitting there, I guess that was the new Prince of Dorne because they had talked about him 2 episodes before that the new Prince of Dorne is thrown in league with Daenerys Targaryen. So, but they hadn't shown him, so that was him. He was clearly the new Prince of Dorne. Okay, so the new Prince of Dorne. You see, what's the name? Somebody give me the name of the damn chick from the Iron Islands, whatever. I can't remember the chick's name. I know somebody out there know it though, but but she's sitting there. You finally see what's his name, Ed Muir or whatever, that Ed Muir Tully. Although it's weird for me to see him because he's on Outlander. He's on that show Outlander as Yara. Oh, love you. Thank you, Rainbow. Okay, so you see Yara, and she wants to kill Jon because Jon killed. And I was like, yeah, okay. I said, yeah, that scene was terrible. You don't want to be the king. Nope, you're the king. That's why I'm here. And I was just like, but I thought it was so funny that Ed Muir tried to be the king, and then Sansa looked at his ass, and she was like, shut your bitch ass up and sit down, uncle. And he was like, oh, okay. Let's see. Shouldn't Gendry be the next to claim the throne? He has been, but see, that's when you get into weird stuff because Gendry has been legalized, or he is not a bastard anymore. But Daenerys was never she was never crowned queen. Did anybody ever notice that? They never actually made her queen. She named herself a queen, but she was never crowned. Did anybody notice that? She was like, hey, bitch, I'm the queen. And everybody was like, all right. And then she was down in she was down there in the free islands or the free cities. And let me see, Niago. In the books, there's another threat worse than the White Walkers. Basically, another, basically Cthulhu like monsters, gods that probably would pose a threat now that the Seven Kingdoms are split. But the Seven Kingdoms really aren't split. You have the Six Kingdoms. You have Sansa in the North. The North is his own separate kingdom, but obviously Sansa and Bran are brother and sister. So if there's an issue, the North, so you basically still have because you still have a united kingdom. It's just that I guess on paper though the North is its own separate entity, but yeah, Dany was never actually crowned. She named herself, but hey, Aegon the Conqueror, if you go back to like Fire and Blood and all that stuff, Aegon, he crowned himself. He grabbed him and his two sisters. They took them dragons and they conquered, and that's how he became king. So, but she was never actually crowned. She was never crowned queen. And just like when Jon became king of the North, he was crowned. They crowned Sansa queen of the North. They crowned Robert king in the North. So Dany was never actually crowned. She just was like, yo, that's what it is. Let's see here. Rainbow Grey Worm didn't hesitate to kill defeated Lannister soldiers, but kept Jon alive because but you heard him though. He did want to kill Jon. He did actually want to kill Jon, but they was like, I thought that was a little weird that he decided. I understand why going to the Summer Isles, because that's where Missandei was from. But at the same point in time, in the books, it's dangerous to go to the Summer Isles if you're not from there, because apparently there's some kind of parasite in the water. Or there's some kind of parasite there that hurts people that are not from that part of the world. The water's dangerous. Like after a couple weeks, people start dying off. It gives you some kind of weird virus. They talked about that in the books. Obviously, I'm sure Grey Worm knows that, but it's weird that he wants to go there. That he decided, hey, I got to go to where my lady love was from. Maybe he's taking her body back to be buried there. I think that would be nice, but they never showed her body again. She got her head chopped off and they was done with that shit. But the Stone Men are in Valyria. There's some kind of virus. The Stone Men, that's what they're talking about, the Dune or whatever the hell. Because, and matter of fact, that whole storyline with the Stone Men, that did not happen to Jorah. That didn't happen to Jorah. That happened to the guy that had the other Targaryen nephew or whatever that was with the Gold Company. Let me see. Book 2. Maybe it's one of those parasites that go in your penis. Very, yes, it's a penis parasite. And his Grey Worm does not exist anymore. So since his Grey Worm does not exist anymore, I suspect yeah. That's John Connick's Booker T. I'm gonna have to stream with you one time. I was like, yeah, that was yes, John Connick's. But first of all, let me go back to the other episode. Let's go back to episode 5, because they just completely shit on the Golden Company. They built the Golden Company up like we about to get this big epic battle, and they're all standing there in front of the gate, and my man just rolls up on that white horse, and he's sitting there, and I was like, all right, man, we about to have World War III here. This is about to be the battle. And then all of a sudden, you just kind of hear something, and everybody's looking, and kabloom, and they just blow them all the shit. And then she just, obviously, Drogon gave them that work. Oh, yeah. That's why I was like, why? Because some people were upset that they didn't bring the elephants, and that HBO didn't spring for the elephant and to do the CGI and all that. I would have been cool with that, but they just completely rushed through that whole. There should have been at least another few episodes. Oh God, Niago, the Golden Company was a waste. They were pretty epic in the book, and I agree. Yeah, I was just like, that whole thing. And I went back and watched episode 5. Okay, episode 4, they kill Rhaegal, and well, he got 3 of those scorpion spikes. He got, and he's like, ah, and it dives in the water, right? And then she dives, and then she was like, oh shit, and she dips on up out of there, and she's like, I will get my revenge. She's like Darth Maul in fucking Phantom Menace. At last, we will have our revenge on the Iron Islands. You know, I was like that whole thing. But when she came out, they did a huge aerial shot, and you see there are hundreds and hundreds of these ships. So there were only about 11 or 12 of those ships in episode Railgun. But in that thing called the Scorpion, that's what they were calling it. They were calling it the Scorpion, I thought. Is it? That's what I thought. That's what Qyburn built. They called it, that's what they were calling it. But if I'm wrong, correct it. But that's what the Scorpions. That's why I was like, they call it the Scorpion. That's why I was like, and they put Scorpions on all the ships, and they put Scorpions all over. Yeah, that's what. Okay, so I'm like, okay, so I'm not wrong. All right, Booker T, you lose. You lost the point there. I was like, but okay, so, but yeah, when Rhaegal got shot, there was like 11 of those ships. You see it, and you see was a Euron, and there's like 11 of those ships, but they were thorough with those shots when they shot Rhaegal. And then a lot of people was like, so wait a minute, they go up way up high, and you see there are like 100 and something ships down there, and they all have the Scorpions on them. And all of a sudden, they can't shoot for shit. I thought that was a good point, because even if you're a bad shot, all you got to do is just shoot it. Just have like 40 or 50 of them shoot in the general direction, and she's going to literally be flying into a rainstorm of those fucking things. It's going to look like machine gun fire. And then they're going to reload and fire at her ass again. Now, I'm not saying she's not going to take out a couple of the ships, but my God, go back and look at episode 5 when she goes up. There's like hundreds of those ships down there. They got the whole Iron Fleet down there. And it's okay, so we getting Neon Goons and plot elements, my friend. So we getting into Avengers Endgame shit now, because that's why I'm kind of pissed off at Kevin Feige or whatever his name is, Feige, the from the damn Avengers movie, because he just did that huge Reddit where he was talking about he was like, of course, when people were like in midair and disappeared, that the Hulk was smart enough to bring them back. Someone brought something up to me with Avengers Endgame that I thought was hilarious. And I never thought about it like this, because I just saw, it was what they call it, the decimation, when Thanos snapped everything. And I was like, okay. They said, there were people probably in the middle of having surgery and stuff. I'm talking like people that were literally split open, and somebody was operating on them, and either their doctor disappeared or they disappeared, all kind of shit. So you telling me the Hulk was like, hey, this person that was in surgery, they're back normal. And the people, obviously we saw in the post-credit scene with Nick Fury, and it was just like, yeah, there was like, that's what I'm saying, that whole shit in Avengers Endgame really fucking, oh my God, yeah, that shit really irritated me. But they was like, he's smart, Hulk, he's smart enough to figure it out. And I was like, okay, that's why I'm saying. So Game of Thrones did some of that shit, because that man was thorough. He was like Denzel in Training Day when they were shooting that scorpion at Rhaegal. They was like, remember when if you saw Training Day and Denzel pulled that double pump action, now I'm surgical with this bitch. And they sliced Rhaegal up. Hit him 3 times out of 3 times. They did not waste no shots on his ass. You didn't see missed fucking scorpion bolts going at his ass. So Rhaegal was like, and he was like, he just went down. And I was like, damn, okay. But one thing they did kind of explain is they were expecting Drogon and Dany to come from the front, and she circled around on their ass and came from the back. Now, I did notice that, because that was something that I didn't notice, and some of the fans were pointing that out. If you go back and look at that, she did not come on front. They were expecting her to come from the sea where the rest of her fleet was. They was expecting her to come from there. She came from behind on their ass and just started lighting them up. And so I was like, oh man, let's see. Mechanics V, did they explain what the voice said when Varys Balls were told? No, they left that out there. And there was so much that they could have. One thing they did say the other day was, you remember what was it on episode 5, where she was about to well, the little girl came in and talked to Varys. And she was like, they're watching me. And he was like, of course they are, child. That's their job. So what he was trying to poison Dany. That's what she was there for. She was one of his little spiders or his little birds or whatever the hell. And I was just like, let me see the use. Did you see D&D talking about the King's Landing episode? Yeah. I always watch those. I watch those because they were trying to explain why she was, why she all of a sudden had a. That's why I'm saying they needed a couple of extra episodes last season, and they needed a couple of extra episodes because last season, even though I liked last season, you could see it where they were just jumping around from place to place. It was like, all right, we're down here, we're at Dragon's Stone or whatever the hell, and now we're back at we're at Winterfell, and then it was like, and then we're up beyond the wall where the Night's King. I was like, what the fuck? Because they had Gendry run back. He had to run back to the castle, and then they had to send a raven out to get Dany, and then she had to hop on her dragons and fly them all the way past the wall to go. Because how the hell did she find them so fast? I was like, they were just jumping around because they didn't give themselves enough time to tell the story the proper way. They were just jumping from spot to spot. So it was like she had a fucking Enterprise dragon on it. It was like Drogon warp 7, and she just jumped. Like let's see, mechanics. The Arya literally had no purpose in the show other than shanking the Night King. Also, Jon brought back to life to kill that. That whole thing pissed me off. And what about, why did Drogon just oh man, why did Drogon bitch up when he saw that? Now, what I had hoped was going to happen, and this is just me. Now y'all can go there with me or not, but I thought that Drogon was going to roast Jon, and then we were going to find out that Jon really is the dragon, and he had the blood of the dragon, so that when Drogon blasted him with the fire, he stood up. I mean, he'd be standing there naked or whatever, but he'd be unburnt, just like Dany was. Now, in the books, that doesn't exist. Dany was only fireproof when she did that one spell, but it actually, even that spell burnt her hair off. It burned her hair off. And Booker T, Jon was already burned in season 1. Yeah, but what if he was fireproof after they brought him back to life? That's just what I was. I was hoping that we were gonna get a full-on Dracarys from Drogon, and he was gonna be like, flame on, bitch. And just like the Night King, and just like when the Night King was just like, surprise, bitch, and he was sitting there, he was still alive. And yeah, he was already burned, but I'm saying he could have new abilities now that he's been brought back to life. That's all I'm saying. The fans would have ate that shit up if Drogon roasted him and then he was like, I'm still alive, bitch. Everything would have been so cool, man. I would have loved that. And then Drogon would have been like, oh shit, I did. Let me see. Niagu, since Jon is Targaryen and probably Drogon sensed that he probably fireproof. I don't know. Drogon was the King Kong of the series. And okay, here's another thing that they just revealed. there was an episode, there was a deleted scene from 2 or 3 episodes ago where John said that he started having a some kind of sense, some kind of connection to Rhaegal, but they deleted it for whatever reason. They decided they would not put that in the scene because obviously Dany has a connection to the dragons. If they, it would have been cool if they had left that scene in there. I'm sure it's going to be on the Blu-rays where John is talking about having a connection to Rhaegal. But for whatever reason, I guess they thought it wouldn't. But at the same point in time, if they had left that scene in there where John's talking about having a connection to one of the dragons, and then they just shit the bed and let Rhaegal get done up like that, he got stunted on, he got spiked, then it would have made them just look like the biggest dumbasses on the planet. So they had too much going on. So, whew, my God. Okay, so let's talk about Sam for a second there. I want to talk about Sam. Sam was saying some dumb shit at the end there at that meeting when he was like, why not let the people decide? And everybody was looking at him like, if you don't shut your bitch ass up. I was like, damn, Sam, I love you. Shut the fuck up, Sam. And I was like, Sam always trying to do the right things. These are lords and ladies, man. They ain't trying to give up all that power like that. They not trying to have motherfuckers voting and shit. The fuck is you talking about? We should let the people shut your bitch ass up. But again, that was funny. Ed Muir trying to think that he was actually going to be the king. I was like, and I thought when Sansa told him to sit his ass down, I was laughing my ass. She was like, Uncle, sit down. He was just like, all right, man, yeah. And that whole thing was crazy. You see the what's the guy that was the Lord of the Vale that is Sansa's cousin and Arya's cousin, Uncle Peter. Was that the same actor that because he hadn't been on the show in a couple years, and I know the way Bran had his growth spurt, that dude definitely, the last time we saw him, he was going through a growth spurt. So if that was him, I have to look on IMDb and see if that was the same actor that played the little kid or whatever, because his ass was a grown ass man. I was like, what the hell is grown ass man? Yeah. So let me see, right? Yeah, right. So Sam became a maester, but still knocked up Gilly. Yeah, well, we know Sam is definitely gonna be doing some things. He gonna be, so that's kind of okay, because he's actually the head of his house now. So I don't know. I mean, his mom and his sister are still living there now, so I don't know. That's that's interesting, because you can't unmake the baby. The baby, she was already pregnant, so she's pregnant. And as far as his family, so I'm assuming, well, hell, she probably living in King's Landing, although he should have the family sword back and all that good stuff. But he's but the thing is, I mean, he's a lord and he's a maester that is working directly for the king. So they'll let him do whatever he wants, really. He's not an archmaester, but he's a maester now. And, he's in good with the king. He's cool with everybody. He's cool with Tyrion. He's cool with the Starks. So he don't have no problem. So they'll let him do whatever. They're probably, hundreds of years ago, they used to allow priests to get married and stuff anyway. So, I'm sure he probably got his I'm sure his son was not born a bastard, because, I just feel like they just doing whatever I don't know. They wrote themselves into a couple of holes there. And they couldn't pay everything off. Having Gendry and Arya back in the same place and not letting them talk to each other, that seemed a little weird. They're sitting at the damn table trying to figure out who the damn king's gonna be. Gendry's. I was like, okay, so you gotta pay that off. You gotta have Gendry go to Arya and try to talk some sense into her. Now she's probably still gonna go her own way or whatever. But damn, let him talk to her, man. It's like, hey, I love you. Please don't go, or something. I don't know. I wanted that shit. Sansa again. I am curious. I cannot wait for the Winds of Winter to come out because Sansa is still pretending to be Peter's niece. She's not in Winterfell getting raped by Ramsay Bolton. So I don't know how she gets from still being a simple little girl that likes to sew and do girly stuff to being this hardened veteran that can see all the different doors before they open, just like Littlefinger and stuff. So I just yeah, I was like, let me see. Mechanics V. Anyone else notice John crossed the wall at the end? The wall was intact, didn't it? Yes. Okay. You came in late. Someone else asked that same question. Mechanics. The wall was destroyed at East Watch by the Sea. That's where the castle was. That's where the dead crossed was at East Watch by the Sea. So that's where what was that? Viserion blew the wall down, and then the dead, the Night King, and everybody, they crossed at East Watch. So that's why that happened. So yeah, the Castle Black is still intact. Because the closest point for the dead to cross over was East Watch, so that's where they went there. But I suspect because of the way they shot this whole season, because so you're the second person in this chat to say the same thing. So if you guys were confused, I guarantee you there are several thousand people, because they had over 20-something million people watched last week. I suspect this particular episode will get at least 25 to 30 million people that watch tonight. So if there are just two people in the chat that already Booker T, there's no way to do finishes in 2 books. Well, remember, A Dance with Dragons was over 1,000 pages. This book already, he's saying The Winds of Winter is already going to be over 600 something pages, almost 700. And he's only written about 5 chapters of it. He's got like 5 chapters of it, or about maybe, or at least portions of 5 chapters, not full chapters. But there are portions of The Winds of Winter on his blog and stuff so I suspect Winds of Winter and A Dream of Spring are both going to be very big, because they actually, like over in the UK, The Dance with Dragons was so big they had to split it into 2 volumes. But over here in the US, it was released as like 1,100, 1,200 pages, one big book. But yeah, but he set so much stuff up. I don't know how they can finish it. Oh, man. Let's see. George R. R. Martin better finish the books, because it's going to be Tolkien all over again. Well, at least Tolkien finished his Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings trilogy. What was it? The Silmarillion or whatever the hell. His son finished that, but he had so many notes on it. I'm sure it would have been different if he had actually gotten to finish the book himself. But his son had a ton of notes from his father when he and I think they're using a lot of the information from the Silmarillion to do the Amazon Silmarillion the Amazon series that's coming out like next year or whatever, or the year after. I know because I started following the Lord of the Rings Amazon Twitter account. And they're starting to, it's set like 500 or 600 years before the events of The Hobbit or whatever. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing that. It's just, I thought that the producers, without having George R. R. Martin's actual material to go off of, I felt like they just put themselves into such a writing bind. And there's a lot. Kevin Splaney, at least Ghost got petted for being a good dog. Okay, there was so many people that were like, why come he didn't get to pet pet Ghost or saying, he kind of nodded at Ghost that first time, and they just went their own separate way. And then, so a lot of people, when he went and actually got the and Ghost licked him and everything, everybody was like, "Oh man!" But I think that the Amazon Lord of the Rings series is going to be incredible. I think they said they're going to spend over the course of the series, they'll probably have spent over $1 billion. They spent just to acquire the rights from the estate of J.R.R. Tolkien. They spent $250 million. Amazon gave them $250 million just to get the rights to do the series. And I know Netflix bid on it too. And I guess Amazon just outbid them and gave them the $250 million. The production on all the episodes are going to be about $10 to $15 million per episode. It is Nymeria is that's another thing. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you guys said that. Nymeria, I wanted to see that. Why the hell did they bring Nymeria back? And oh man, I wanted to see. I don't know. I wanted to see something happen and Arya get into some trouble, and then Nymeria and her pack of wolves come in. Like they could have. I don't know. I wanted, it's the last episode. I wanted fan service. I wanted shit oh man. So, yeah, but it would probably have been ran out. But when the dragons was blowing shit up, say Arya was about to get beaten up and raped or something, just like how Jon saved that woman that one of the soldiers was about to rape. And I was just, oh, yeah, and I know Arya could warg into Nymeria. She could warg just like Bran. They never touched that. They did so much. They took, not to mention Lady Stoneheart. Why didn't they do Lady Stoneheart? Lady Stoneheart would have been so dope if they had done Lady Stoneheart. Oh my God. Lady Stoneheart. Oh, I would have loved Lady Stoneheart. Why couldn't we get Lady Stoneheart? That would have oh my God. This is so much that they could have done. And like I said, over 1 million signatures, 1 million people have signed that petition online that they should redo. Let's see. Much better than bringing Barrick back. Man. Yeah, Rome, the upset of George R. Martin really wanted. They should have done. Lady Stoneheart would have been cool, man. I know she didn't she hang Podrick? I knew she hung Podrick when she caught Brienne and Podrick in the Riverlands, and I think she thought Brienne had lied to her, and I knew she hung Podrick, and then she let Brienne go to bring Jaime Lannister to him or something like that. I don't know. I had to go back and look, but that they could have, man, the Lady Stoneheart and the actress. Yeah, see what I'm saying? They had so much cool shit they could have done. And okay, she was gonna hang Podrick, but I think Brienne saved her. But let me see, Neon Good, but wouldn't she be just like a zombie, just like the Mountain, but with a brain? Yeah, and actually, George R. Martin, there's an interview that he did on YouTube where he was talking about people like the Whites versus people like Barrick that have been brought back to life, because the Whites are being brought back to life using like ice magic, and people like Barrick Dondarrion, they're being brought back using fire magic. So they're like Whites too, he said, but there's just different. So I don't. They had so much material in the books that they could have done. Not to mention, there was someone else was talking about, like Euron. Actually, there was he used some kind of magic or something. He was trying to do some kind of magic. I think he was going to sacrifice Yara to like a kraken or something. He was doing some kind of magic on the sea or something. There was so much stuff they could have done that they didn't do. Oh my God. I just lost opportunities. I loved Game of Thrones up to about season 5, and then when they start doing like season 6, 7, maybe about halfway through, like I said, the rape, when Sansa got raped, when Sansa got raped, it took me, I was like, okay. And I know even George was disturbed by Sansa getting raped, so much to the point that he actually had to put some stuff out on his little forum on his website and stuff, because people was going in when that happened, when Sansa got raped. And let's see. Let's see. It's season 6. The Battle of the Bastards was dope. I liked how they got rid of Ramsay with that's the thing though. I was familiar with the book material, so I am curious how we're going to get the Sansa that got crowned queen after the way she was left off in the Dance of Dragons and stuff, where she's still kind of a simple girl, and Littlefinger's not macking on her. She's being courted by a nice young man and all this kind of stuff. I'm curious about that. I'm curious how we're gonna get to that, where Littlefinger's like, hey, I'm gonna scheme and I'm gonna win the Iron Throne, and she's gonna, I don't know how we get there. So I'm not sure how we get to that point. Let's see. Mike Jenkins, nothing worse than getting fully invested than getting screwed at the end, a la The Sopranos. The Sopranos ending was strange for me. When they were sitting in that restaurant and everything. Now, what's the guy? Dominic Chase, the producer. I know he's talked about some of the things, and I've gone back and watched that last episode. There were a lot of things that he was setting up like little cliffhangers on, and obviously they just decided not to pay it off. But I will say that I am very much looking forward to the Sopranos prequel with what's the guy that played the Punisher and stuff. I saw him in there. I think that shit is gonna be dope. And they got the dude's son playing him as a kid and everything. Man, I'm looking forward to the Sopranos. Matter of fact, did anyone notice that they showed the West Wing 3, the season 3 trailer to Westworld? And it's the dude that played Jesse on Breaking Bad. He's on the show, and I saw that. I was like, whoa, okay, they got Jesse from Breaking Bad on Westworld. So I am curious about that. Westworld, I know some people didn't like season 2. Season 2 was a little for me, but not so bad that I won't come back and watch season 3. I thought season 1 was incredible. Season 2, and then I'm looking forward to seeing season 3. I'm curious what they're gonna do with it, but oh man. Whew. But guys, I just wanted to hang out with y'all for a minute. I wanted to talk to y'all. Thank you guys so much for coming in, and I've enjoyed. Man, the chat's been active. This is fantastic. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for everything, your support, supporting this channel. Appreciate you. But I am definitely looking forward to the Game of Thrones prequel show. But I felt like the producers on this, they shit the bed. They should be ashamed of themselves. I am going to watch next week, The Last Watch, the documentary. I think it's going to be 90 minutes. Because I just want to say goodbye to the cast and celebrate, because there was some bad this season. There was some bad last season. But I think overall, I enjoyed Game of Thrones. But yeah, it started going downhill. But maybe HBO should have just paid D&D off and got 2 producers that actually gave a shit about keeping the show going. If they had done that, maybe they should have because like I said, HBO was trying to get them to go all the way up to like 10 seasons. So if maybe once they decided, they was like, look, we don't want to do the show anymore, because I know they've got like a Star Wars trilogy that they're working on, and there was supposedly some kind of show that they were going to do on HBO about some kind of what the Civil War show where slavery, where the South won the war and everything. It's like, let me see. Mike Jenkins, yo, when's the next sex party? My awards are like 62% cleared over the last one. We are going to do another sexy party. I actually talked to Anna the other day. She's taking care of some stuff, but we are going to stream again. Sexy Party. We will be back on Sexy Party. But enjoy the 12 episodes I have loaded up on iTunes and Google Play and all that stuff now. But yeah, guys, enjoy your night. Thank you so very much for being here. Again, love you guys. Appreciate you so much. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap this video up. And if you guys want to reach out to me, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and right here on this YouTube channel, everywhere is at Akari Press. And if you type in akaripress.com, it will take you directly to my Indiegogo campaign for my comic book series brand with the phenomenal Kanan White. We're on Teespring. We're on Amazon.com. The links to those are in the description. Thank you guys so much. Have a great night. I'm out.